Annyeonghaseyo. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I know. Bitch, didn't you already do this? Technically, yes. Technically, no. Because I didn't get to bask in the moment because my friends and we were just yapping. But Superman, music by John Murphy and David Flemings for the original Superman theme by John Williams. And this is just the entire soundtrack. I was like, I want to get back into I want to relive Superman again because I've already seen it 4 times, and I'm on a fifth watch thingy. But it's like, do you really want to go to watch it 5 times? Three centuries ago, the exploration of metahumans descended onto people and started the chapter of gods and monsters. 3 millennials ago, planet Krypton was blown up and destroyed. Or is this where it says God monsters? And it's like 3 decades ago, Krypton was destroyed. And then 3 years ago, the last son of Krypton was flown to Smallville, taken on by the Kents. 3 months ago. 3 weeks ago, 3 years ago, he debuted. 3 months ago, the Barovian thing. 3 weeks ago, 3 minutes ago, he lost his first fight. Or 3 hours ago, he lost his first fight. No, 3 hours ago, he was challenged and then he lost his first fight. Crypto! Eight, 10 out of 10. What I love most about Crypto in this movie is that he's very reminiscent of my socially behavioral issued jogs. So I felt validated. Okay. He gets dragged back to the Fortress of Solitude. Are they talking about his dad right now or his parents? Is he looking at that? Yeah. Every time. And he's getting the laser and spinning, and then it's about to appear on his chest. I'm gonna cry. Oh. I almost cried. Superman is back, y'all. Oh my god. When I saw that on IMAX, now he's gonna fly back. I think they split it because then he's talking about Crypto going back to the city, and they're like, oh well, you're not at full power, and the Bolivian whatever man, he defeated you when you were at full power, so how do you expect to defeat him now? And he's just like, I gotta go back. Then the flying, oh my god. It's so crazy because people made so much fun of that scene. They really didn't like it. the scene when he's like flying and then it's like he's like turning through the ice glazes and he's just like going, and like in theaters when we see that, especially when it like goes across the S on his chest, when it goes across the S on his chest that time, and then the second time when he's fighting, woo, I just wanted to say, like, it's so iconic how that how John Williams' symphony for Superman has become such a vocal point of this character, to the point where like Batman has had, well, I mean, I don't want to say that there's not like a distinct Batman theme, because there is, but it's just like you cannot do like the capture of hope that is in that. Like, it's so triumphant, and it's used so many times in this song in so many different aspects, and it just, I don't know, I don't want to like cry, but like if I do start crying, it's not because like sadness and sorrow, and no, it's genuine feeling of hope. It's like when your emotions get so like bottled up, where you feel like this rush of just like pure relaxation, almost pure thankfulness, pure bliss, and you just want to cry. That's that feeling right there. Like, that's what Superman gives me. That's what this movie especially gave me. He's flying. On streaming. I absolutely cannot wait for this to be released on streaming. I'm gonna watch it every single day, and if not, it's gonna play in the background of just like my life. Hammer of Boravia. That's what the name was. Goes over and it's Lex Luther, and there's people are typing on the fucking laptop, and they're like, Superman incoming in 3, 2, 1, and he turns around and he's like, it's so cool, it's so cool. Fights him, Superman bites him, and he fails, and he falls out of the sky. Boom! You are now under the people of, or you have now felt the wrath of the... Ah! I almost dropped my steak. I didn't drop anything. My first time cooking like a ribeye steak, and it was like, it's grass-fed one, so like I don't know if there's a difference, but like I was a little scared. A little dry. So like, I know Superman, even though I'm a firm believer that Clark Kent is Superman more than Superman is Clark Kent. Like, Daily Planet, Clark Kent is obviously not Superman, but at the same time, I also do think in this movie there were aspects of him that weren't like this. Like, yeah, he was a little scrouched over and makes himself seem like a little bit smaller, but I also think he was a lot comfortable. Like when he's walking, And he has, first of all, the Superman problem here was that he was showing off his fucking newspaper article when he's walking in the beginning into like or I mean okay wait I think Daily Bugle has its own, Daily Planet has its own, but Superman being with the people and the people fucking with him is a good thing. However, his identity is like, what, I don't want to say his identity, but like, you see how it put people in danger? I hope I make sense. James Gunn's best movie, and I'm a fucking Suicide Squad goon. Oh, okay, yes, Luther Corp. Now she's walking on the ice because this isn't at his. Is this at his thing? No, she's walking on the ice to his thing, and then she zooms out. Yeah, she flies back. They're talking after they defeated Superman. Damn, I know this fucking movie. After they defeated Superman, or they wrapped up the Baravia, the Hammer of Baravia thing, and Ultraman is coming out of the Baravian suit, and he's going back inside of like the Luther core. I fucking love that shot so much because it's so villain. It's so, I mean, I feel like there has to be a better way to like describe comic-y without using the word comic, but it's like, it's very comic-y, very villain-esque, very like animated. Just what I would believe like superhero, like how you showcase a superhero's hideout or like lair or whatever. And for it to be like the Luther Corp like building, and they're like walking up, and this song is playing in the background. It's like so fucking thug. It's so like badass, like so fucking cool. And then she lands on the roof, and it like zooms out slowly, and it's like Luther Corp. Oh my god. Ultraman! You did so good! Yeah, I may have seen this movie too much. It's right here, actually. I think these aspects and like Luther's henchmen were shown and displayed perfectly, in my opinion. I really liked it. No mucho aje. Superman or would it be Younghwan? Younghwai. Choaheo. Daily Planet, yeah. Right? Daily Planet. So Clark, in my opinion, when we get into the Daily Planet, is very much still himself in terms of how Superman is like really laid back, chillax, fun guy. And we see that with like Jimmy Olsen. He's fucking walking in, first of all, like, as I was saying, Clark's walking in with a newspaper that is like his headline, sort of in a very proud, want people to like congratulate him, gloaty type of way, which I think that is a flaw in his character, but not a flaw in his character in the worst type of way, just in a sense of how he's going to grow as being like a super like respectable and humble man. Yeah, so he's got that, and then Jimmy sees him, and he's on the phone with like his mom, pa. He's cute scene. He's on the phone with his parents, and like Jimmy sees him, and they like the way that they the way he's like, Jimmy's like celebrating, like, yeah, Yeah. That leads me to believe very much that Clark Kent hasn't truly appreciated the sense of him being almost non-existent at the Daily Planet, because I think that was also a complaint that I seen people have, which was like, how did no one at the Daily Planet notice that Clark was missing for the longest? I do think that is low key an issue when he did have the front news, like the front line, the front head news, whatever. But I also think it was okay because, one, the city's under attack. Everybody in the fucking office is running around. Two, Jimmy Olsen was just uncovering a huge scoop. So he low-key takes the spotlight of Clark Kent in that moment. And I think that is where the relationship that we see like Clark and Jimmy share, where there's like, you know, fun mutual bond, is going to turn into the relationship that we see Jimmy and Superman share, or Clark when he's in the Superman outfit, because he's going to start allowing Jimmy to interview him more. I feel like that's where we're headed. Like giving his scoops to Jimmy instead of himself. It's so Sam Raimi coded, like that like sound. Yeah, I fuck with it. And then they go back to his house because Clark says that sassy shit. Another downfall in his character, or a flaw in his character, is that Clark thinks, and it's actually really cute, but Clark thinks Lois is joking in the office when she's scolding him about his Superman articles, I guess. Yeah, is that the word we're gonna use? Superman head front page. And obviously she has worry and she has care for Clark, but Clark doesn't see it like that because he's such a genuine and naive guy, very super naive. So he just thinks that she's just like fucking around and playing with him because she knows that he's Superman. And so he believes genuinely that it's okay for him to give these stageful interviews with himself that like Lois is going to explain in the house. It's really problematic. It's fake PR. It's not genuine. It's not true. And I think that is also an interesting irritation in Clark Kent's character, is that once the question, the validity of what he was doing was questioned, his shift in appreciation of it kind of like he gets a little irritated. But yeah, I really love this scene, and I think it's a super important scene between Lois and Clark that fully characterizes both of them and how they view each other. And then the gentle version of Superman, Lois and Clark. They was kissing in this movie. They were making the fuck out. Oh, to be an actor, like period. Damn. Whoa. We just skipped through a lot. Okay. So Clark and Lois have the interview where interview's supposed to be interviewing Superman, but she hasn't fully understood that Superman is Clark Kent. So the answers that you're going to get from Clark Kent are going to be the answers that you're going to get from Superman are going to remind you of Clark, because he's not just an alien. This is a man, this is a guy, this is a person who has feelings and who also understands like the world. He's not just like an alien metahuman. And in Superman's mind, you know, he trusts and believes that Lois has the best intentions for him, but I think there was a moment where he just felt like he was being exploited just a little bit, since she knew the answers to the questions, which is so funny that he like says like, oh, it's not a problem like that, I know the answers because, you know, I'm being honest. But the moment that she starts asking honest questions that kind of contradict his character, he starts being like, would you have really asked me that if you didn't know the answer to it? Like I said, it's such a perfectly in my opinion, it's such a well-constructed argument that they share within that room that tells us a lot about where Clark needs to go or where he's headed in terms of his character development. And it also showcases that while Lois may trust Superman and have these, like, you know, emotions towards Clark, she still doesn't, like, see him as a human being, and she's not going to see him as a human being, or at least start seeing the validity in metahumans, especially the alien ones, until she sees, in my opinion, from how I seen it, Metamorpho, until she sees him with his child. And when they're walking away, and that like how they're like they share that look, and he's looking at her and she's looking at him, just walk away. And for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure, like, in her heart of hearts, she felt like, damn, I wish there was more that I could do for the people of Baravia, or not Baravia, but, like, I guess would Jarapan, whatever it is. But yeah, I think those are like really interesting details that get, like, kind of glossed over when people are talking about it. I felt like I glossed over that too when I was talking about it with my friends, because, like, I don't know, like, I need to flow through the moment in order to talk about what I saw, and this is just really bringing me back into the theater. Oh yeah, so they have a moment inside the room. The next thing, I believe, is them going to the ice cave. Trying to unlock the Kryptonians, whatchamacallit, and all that shit. And Lex Luther says he's setting up a distraction for Clark, which is the little monster thingy that's gonna grow bigger and becomes a huge ass monster. Access to the cave, or maybe this is when they first show the monster and how big it's gotten overnight. Fighting the monster out. Saving people. The monster gets flamethrower. Hey buddy, eyes up here. I'm very proud of myself. Meanwhile, I believe, like, in the cave, they're getting the things. Or no, they already did that, because that's when she was like, oh, what are we gonna do as a distraction? Could have been right here that he said the hey buddy, eyes up here. The Justice Gang had their own intro, so they came in during that fight. Yeah. Oh, okay, here it is. There it is. After he saved the Asian lady and left her on a building. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was about to say, outside of Mr. Terrific, was there any other black people in there? I remember the pedestrians. There was a black lady that was looking disappointed as fuck. There was a little black boy that was like, I'm disappointed in you, Superman. you get the read on this guy? I was trying to see if there was any way we can like tame it or whatever, so we can bring it down. Are you serious? What? And then he flies up. Go for the eye! In there. Boom. Oh, come on. There has to be a more tamed way, or like more whatever way of doing it. Yeah, this is the shit that I do at home. On days where I don't know what else to do, I'm going to be reenacting films based off of their soundtracks. But yeah, no, I wanted to say that a important piece of the Justice Gang being here, especially in the timing of this being the craft of the DC universe, in my opinion, really gave it really gave that Superman 3 years in changed the course of heroism for the DCU. Because when you sort of compare it to how the MCU or the Marvels did like the Accords and the concept of heroes working for, you know, the government and being deployed whenever they request or they're told to, that's sort of essentially what the Justice Gang was and what they were doing. Especially with how they came on the scene. They didn't really care about who could or couldn't be getting hurt or the collateral damage. Yeah, that's what Tony Stark was signing for. If the Accords would have been passed, that's how they would have been moving. And Superman sort of is changing the tide for metahumans, because like if you have powers and you have the ability to do something, you should be allowed to do something as long as nobody's dying and getting hurt. I feel like that's what this kind of set. Sorry. I feel like that's what this kind of set up in the MCU, DC. This is when it dies, yeah, and it falls back. Yeah. When Superman catches it, and then he rests the kaiju down. I'm trying to remember it piece by piece, guys. Without me looking at the title name. The news. All the kids hugged them, they congratulated. Intruders? Oh, so did they change the part? A little late. Yes, 1,000 times over. and they find the files of his parents, and they're gonna hack into that bitch. Low-key, the engineer's powers are like fucking like insane. They're insane. The nanobites or whatever, that shit kind of made me like, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it definitely did, especially when she put him on crypto and they were all over his face and they were just like swarming, and it's just like Imagine if somebody didn't watch the movie and this is just the esque. Yeah, man, they're still in that whatchamacallit, like. This isn't the portal, is it? No, I don't think so. This isn't the portal. The portal has a colder, like, in my opinion. Let me think. Okay, wait, intruders? Because I do think Ultraman used the portal first to go in there, and like that's the first time we seen it. But then I know we see it again when we see the Baravian president use it, and that one was cold as fuck. I'm sorry, I love that like soundtrack-esque of the way the pocket dimension sounds. That shit is live. That shit is live. But this sounds like the intrusion in the ice castle, the Fortress of Solitude. Which was crazy because I low-key thought like Lex was the one who used the DNA, since I haven't been like paying attention to the character sheet list reveal, so I didn't know if they already said Ultraman was going to be in it. But I thought Lex like you got his DNA. I was like, dude. The message? We must move quickly. We don't have much time. He didn't notice I put Lois in his way. I have no idea when this was played. Oh, the message! The message! This is when his parents was revealed? I don't get it. What's so wrong about that? Yeah. Or maybe this is when he's walking to... Which, by the way... Ah, yes. But the suspense in this. Crashing down, he's walking through the people, they threw a can at his head. He's disappointed the civilians, and the civilians are pissed because they don't know who he really is, and he's looking around and everyone's looking shocked, and now he's walking through a crowd of angry civilians, and then the can gets thrown at his head. And he's walking to the building as people are shouting, "Fuck you, Superman!" No, I'm just kidding, they're not shouting that, but they're like... Very dramatic, personally, because I feel like actions speak louder than words, so. And then he goes, yeah, because the Green Lantern, he goes and he puts the ring, and then Superman hits his hand on the was it all enveloped in green by the time he did that? Maybe it was after. He goes inside of the office, and then he just like slams his hand or puts his hand down on the thing in pain, heartful pain. And like ever since my homie Renzo, which if you guys watched the like us all talking about the Superman movie, ever since he pointed out that Henry Cavill Superman, Zack Snyder Superman, flew off after the explosion in the courthouse, and he didn't really like I'm not gonna say he didn't take responsibility for it, but he didn't really take responsibility for it. This scene here becomes even more significant to Superman's character, because he could have very well just like flew away and got out of the earshot or the eye range of hearing all of these disgusting comments about him, because again, then he's a guy with super hearing as well, so he can hear everything that they're saying. But instead he chose to not only really showcase how affected he was by this, but he stood his ground. He just walked into a building where he could be by himself and really think about what it is that he wants to say and wants to do. I also think this is like, this low key, now that I'm thinking about it, has like an interesting pull for the concept of the way Clark Kent was allowing Superman to be perceived or like written in journalism. This was like the first huge conflict where he didn't know what to do as Superman or what to say, because like this is just a shock to him, this is a shock to the people. And again, I personally believe while he's still trying to figure out who he is as a hero, he doesn't have that that definitive line of, it's almost like an influencer that is completely themselves online. They showcase themselves at like who they are online. You see them, you know them by username and all that stuff, and then you find out that they did something crazy, and you just kind of like, oh my god, like, oh, you're a liar, or you're a bad person or anything like that. And it's just kind of like, no, the person that I've shown you online is who I am. However, I'm not always going to have like pieces and points that are perfect or understanding. And I think that's like, I guess, the cancel culture aspect of Superman's story. The celebrity, like, I guess, idolization of people. I mean, it's definitely reasonable to idolize Superman. He's a fucking flying dude. But at the same time, it's like Superman, of course, his alien heritage wasn't sent here. He didn't see it sent here to like protect the people. That makes a lot of sense. Like if I was a normal civilian, I would have been like, okay, well, I mean, his parents are saying this, but what is he doing? You know, like what's the issue here? What is the takeaway? What are we upset about? He's an alien. Like, I don't know. Like that feel like comments 1 + 1 = 4. But Superman himself has been saving people. Like, I don't know. He saved my life. As a person who Superman has saved, I don't know, that this seems a little suspicious. Lex Luther, you seem like you're a problem. But yeah, I think that these are the these are points within Superman's character that we're gonna see develop and flesh out fully and completely within the DCU. However much time we're given, whether James Gunn is gonna actually use David to be put inside like other projects, sort of how Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller appeared in Peacemaker. I think that's like cute, small, little stuff that would be fun and funny. And again, cameos inside of comic book media aren't technically cameos unless the person is playing as, in my opinion, themselves. Like if like Megan Thee Stallion is like a cameo or like a guest appearance right there, where that's like, oh my god, it's Megan Thee Stallion was inside of She-Hulk. But in my opinion, like seeing Superman inside of something like Peacemaker, that just feels like regular comic, you know, because they're not celebrities in their own world. I mean, he might be, but like at the same time, it's also, he's in the hero society. He's going to show up. He's going to appear, especially as one of those figures that's like, he's always, I don't know. I'm sorry. I kind of just got really into Secret Harem. Yeah, this motherfucker slaps. Is it this? Because he's on the news and he's talking shit. The president of Moravia, I think. Secret harem. Or is this when he's flying back to his... Guy Gardner was another, like, Nathan Fillion, another, like, Jim, obviously Mr. Terrific. Yes. And then he goes into the pocket dimension. David and John, y'all did y'all big one on this one. Yeah, I love that. That's rings a bell to in an esque way that just the real punk rock. Okay, so he flies to his castle. He's looking for crypto because he's like, okay, well, how do they get the information? Where did the message go? He talks to the Justice Gang. Mr. Terrific tells him that message has to be real because Superman thinks that it's fake. Guy Gardner is like questioning him, but he also is, like trying to still, not really trying to still be respectful, but he's definitely like, yo, is this really who you are? And then Hawkgirl says, well, how could they have possibly gotten that message if it was sent with you on a ship that was damaged? And then Superman thinks, holy shit, the Fortress of Solitude, they must have somehow got in, flies over there, goes inside, sees the robots and all of that stuff broken, sees Four is broken. Four is like stabbing himself in the head. Superman stops and he's like, hey, what happened? And Four says, I tried to protect Superman. And Superman is like, who did this? And Four keeps saying, I tried to protect Superman, until eventually he stops working. And that's the scene, that's the little like picture with Superman holding Four's arm and feeling very like sad and whatnot. And then he's like looking around at the destruction and he says crypto, and crypto doesn't appear. And then he says crypto again and crypto doesn't appear. And then he's like, they got my fucking dog. So he goes and he flies to fucking Lex Luthor Corps, and he's like, yo, like he crashes through a window and then walks through the door. I think that was funny because in the end, when he gets to Luthor Corps again and he's trying to actually stop him, he flies straight directly through the window. But this time he crashed through one window and looks like told the receptionist, I'm going in that bitch, and then walked in that motherfucker. Thought that was funny. But yeah, so he's in there and he's like, where's my dog? No, he doesn't. Even the funnier part about this is that he doesn't say crypto like, where's my dog? He says, where's the dog? So he's like, where's the dog? And Lex is like, yes, here he is. Clark flips the table. I think I'm sorry. I just have a lot that's going on in my brain. That's all trying to be said at once. Find it, Joker. Okay. I think it's funny that I am going through this movie like almost scene by scene, trying to. I also think it's funny that, that's what I was laughing at. But yeah, so Clark flips the desk. Eve is sitting on the couch. Eve is Luthor's, girlfriend at the time. Just a pretty girl taking pictures and all that stuff. And she decides to start recording. And Luthor is like, record this, exactly what I need. Superman is like, where's the dog? Where's the dog, Luthor? And Luthor's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What I love about this is like right before he flips that table, Luthor knows that he's going to do that. Lex knows he's going to do that. And he takes the cup. And so he has the mug there because he needs the mug to make it seem like Superman is crazy. This was a trick that Dexter Loki did to, what's his name? Surprise, motherfucker. Yeah, the Dokes. That's the trick that like Lex Luther did to Dokes to make Dokes look crazy. So I just thought that was like really funny. Because when Superman's like, you know where you took the dog, and Luther's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and he puts the cup to his mouth, and he's like, ugly, stupid dog in a red cape. And then that's when Clark starts tweaking out. The video is going viral everywhere now, and it's on TV. And then Peacemaker appears because he's talking about how heroes like Clark Kent try to think that they're better than everybody else. And the reality is that they're not, and they're low-key jealous of Peacemaker because like he's edgy and cool, and these good guys who have a no-kill rule are trying to make us good guys who kill people seem like we're the bad guys. But the reality is that we're just doing what they can't do. And when you try to trust people who seem to pretend like everything is perfect and they're all good, likelihood is they're gonna have some crazy demons in their closet. Regardless of the how true it is or isn't, Clark is flying in back to his house. I think this is the first time we see his apartment. Yeah. Because then Lois is the one who turns off the TV, and in the background is the Justice Gang fighting an interdimensional imp. So that's what it is. So that's everything that's missing in order to get us to this point of the conversation, which is still this idea that Lois doesn't completely know Clark Kent, but at the same time, she doesn't need to know him in order to trust. Like, she doesn't like need to know his background or his alien, whether he's alien or human, because she still views him as like a person, a man who can love, and she's in love with this man. So that's why, like, for her, outside of the fact that she's also a top A-tier journalist, for her, she didn't care about his Kryptonian background. She cares about who he is as a person. And I think it's lovely when they're talking and she says, but we're so different. Or like when he asked, what do you mean? What did you mean by that? When Lois had told him to just like, this is why I can't do relationships. And Clark decides to like leave her alone. Another thing, Clark is a really nice guy. He's not going to force himself on a woman or for a woman or about a woman. He's just a really good guy. And when she said that, he took it at face value, but he also doesn't understand like the complications of the heart because he's had all this power and this strength. So now Lois, in her mind, still views him as this guy that's lacking these pieces of intellectuality as a human being, in my opinion, is how I interpret it. Because when they're talking and she says like, when he says like, what did you mean by that? And she says, well, I don't know. We're just really different. And she says, I'm a girl who grew up in like whatever small town area or whatever, listening to punk rock. And he's like, and then she goes, and you're Superman. And he's like, I listen to punk rock. What are you talking about? I'm punk rock. And she's like, well, and she's like, you're not punk rock. And this is on the surface level of how she views Superman as a hero and not Clark as a man, because again, she hasn't yet met the Kents and who his actual parents. So yeah, I really do like that. Like you look at everything and everyone like it's beautiful. And maybe that's the real punk rock. Ugh. Even his irritation when he's talking about his little bands. And he's like, I like them, whatever. I love it. And then they kiss, and then he said, I was out looking for the dog, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go turn myself in. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, maybe they'll take me for where the dog is. And she's like, it's just a dog. And he says, yeah, it's not even a good one, but. And then they hug, and then he flies up. He flies up. Sounds so romantic. Composers are incredible people. Pocket universe. He goes, they slam his face on the floor, they say we're taking you in. Now sadly we can't, like there's a new protocol, so you're not read your Miranda rights. As well, what do they call the Planet Watch? You're under their control now. Taking Superman to the pocket dimension, where he must then pay for his crimes. And Lex explains why he has this pocket dimension and what it's used for, somewhat for his allies and all of the evil people. All the evil people that are like enemies of his allies, and now Superman is there. Superman is looking for Crypto, sees Crypto. Crypto's got little thingies on his head, and he's like, how do you control the super dog? Beam laser squirrels, beam fire squirrels into its head. And just when Clark thinks he's gonna have an easy show go ride, what is his name? Metamorpho turns his hand into kryptonite, and Clark realizes he's fucked. I actually like that detail about the kryptonite though, and how it gave him like an allergic reaction. Oh, and he shows him his baby Joey. Am I reacting to the soundtrack, or am I just reliving Superman? That's the question. But no, I like that the kryptonite gave him an allergic reaction, because when I first saw it, I was like, that's a little excessive. Kryptonite for real is just supposed to make Superman a normal guy. Obviously, they've enhanced the idea of what kryptonite is supposed to do, because kryptonite comes from Krypton. So it means, like, you know, his people were raised around it, but that's the point, is that his people were raised around it. So if in the idea of there being like an immunity to it, he wouldn't have that developed, because he was never raised on Krypton. He was a baby when he got sent to Earth. And so he didn't have time to actually adapt to the things that are normal to him. And he's adapted to this Earth's atmosphere and all that stuff. So something like kryptonite that would more so weaken him is like an allergic reaction. It's like an allergy attack. I told my man when we were talking about it, I was like, it's kind of like in World of Wars, the Tom Cruise version, when the aliens die out at the end, and it's because of them not being able to adapt to all the diseases and infections and bacteria that are on planet Earth in our atmosphere that we have had millions of years to adapt to. That's sort of what kryptonite in this, to me, seemed like. That boy needed an EpiPen. Oh, that's my shit! This is my shit. So to catch y'all up. So to catch y'all up, Lois goes to talk to the Justice Gang to ask them for help, and they don't want to help her, more so specifically because of the controversies involving themselves into something that's so political, the government, which is funny because Lois got on Superman in the interview for doing this exact thing, but then she had this expectation that for him, like, she suddenly understood why it was so important for them to then now get involved into a governmental, like, issue. We know that there's bullshit that goes around the corners to make things seem like it's right or it's just, when the reality is that it's not. And if we have the power to do something, we should do it. So at this moment, Lois is now really beginning to understand where Superman is coming from, especially when she talks to the Justice Gang, and they kind of deny wanting to have any part in this political battle. But Mr. Terrific, he kind of fucks with Superman and wants to piss off Guy Gardner, as well as wants to see, like, if this pocket dimension thing is true, because if it is true, you know, he's a super smart guy, and he knows that this is going to be a bigger problem in the long run. So they go to the Boravia headquarters where Superman is being held through a pocket dimension that he went to. And, well, obviously they can't just let him go away. So here is the James Gunn-esque style of being able to pick the perfect song for a perfect moment. And I just loved it. I loved everything about this scene. Hey. Oh, wait, no. It hasn't started yet. Flying in, flying down. They walk out of the ship. The Superman projector beams. I think he went over there this way. Hey, you can't be in here. It's saying that he went through that portal over there, and so we just have to go that far.
of years' time we could be
can't
walking
be here,
around
sir.
the zoo with the sun shining down over me and you.
And Lois is like, are you sure you really want to do this? And they're like, hey, we're going to tell you one more time.
Hands over your eyes, but
you
you'll
can't do
peek
this.
through
Or whatever, like, you can't be here or there's going to be a problem. And he says,
all over our bodies and sun.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And then they go to try to shoot at him, and he uses his T-sphere, and the shield happens.
So what the heck, 'cause I'll be laughing at all of your silly little jokes, and we'll be laughing about how we used to smoke all those stupid little cigarettes and drink stupid wine, 'cause it's what we needed to have a good time. But it was fun. When we were drinking, it was fun. When we were drunk.
I wonder if they didn't have the rights to completely use this song just on Apple Music, because that's what happened last time. I mean, I'm not too mad, yeah, because there's no actual time there. I mean, I am a little mad, but I'm not too mad. But yeah, my favorite scene in that when they're fighting is when the second chorus happens and he's looking at Lois, and then the T-sphere goes and he grabs it and then he just goes. That shit is so smooth. It's so smooth. I love that moment so much. Y'all have no idea. I know, girl, come on. I know, but I'm just having so much fun, like, re-talking about the movie. Something like the sun. Oh, okay. Is this when the gun happens? I don't know. Some point within this, obviously, if you've watched the movie, you know what the fuck happens. But Lex Luther grabs the pedestrian from off the street that we see in the beginning. Is his name Maui? I think so. No, I was gonna say, is that the same guy from the Suicide Squad too? But yeah, he grabs him or whatever, and he uses him to sort of force Superman to confess who has been raising him so that he can go find them and kill them. And he puts a little Russian roulette game in terms of Superman getting an answer. Superman can't. Allergic reaction, kryptonite. Metamorpho is crying in the corner because he's kind of like, wow, this is really fucked up. And yeah, it's a really dark scene. It's a really dark scene for our comeback into the DCU. Especially I don't want to say that because the Suicide Squad 2 has some really dark moments, but I think that this specifically in a Superman movie carried like heavy weight because we watched a guy get shot in the head. Whether it was from like a distance or close up, we still watched a man die in front of Superman, and all he could do was cry. And that's a very like humbling moment right there, is that sometimes Superman might be put himself into and that's a period. But Superman might put himself into predicaments where Superman has to think very, very strongly about the battles that he picks and he chooses, because he can put other people in danger. And he might put himself in a predicament where he can't help those that he should be able to. And definitely being in that box, even though he was there to like try to save crypto. There definitely could have been another way around that situation. And I think that's the carelessness and the naivety that Superman has to just go in and go do it. You know, turning himself in was ideally, I guess, a smart option or smart choice. But I think the underestimation of Lex Luthor was really crazy, because then we have this street vendor who just dies right in front of Superman and there's nothing that he can do. And Lex is just kind of like, well, I'm going to go grab another person. This time I'm going to grab the journalist that's always interviewing you, Clark Kent, which I hope at that moment he really did catch on how dangerous it is for Lois to try to be interviewing him, how dangerous it is for even himself and his identity, to like who he is, to be trying to interview him. Yeah, so he leaves, Mephisto's crying, and he's just like, yo, Superman, if you can do something about this, you know what, maybe I can help you. You said you can save my baby, because Superman told him like, hey, I can get your son if you don't do this. And he was like, shut up, I don't want to participate with you, or we're all gonna be hurt. But now he's like, I want to participate with you. So yeah, and then he's like weak still after the kryptonite, and Metamorpho is like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Get the fuck up, come on, it's game time, they're gonna come back and they're gonna find out what we're doing. And Superman is like, well, I don't have any sun, I need some vitamin D, nigga. I need some vitamin D. And Mephisto. And Metamorpho is like, I can't make the sun, but I can make something close to it. And in that moment, I kind of forgot that the sun is literally just a ball of gas, because I was sitting there like, it took me 2 times. I think maybe in the 3rd or the 4th watch, it clicked and registered in my head. Well, of course he would be able to make something that's close to the sun, but not the sun, but still as effective and as powerful as the sun, because it's just a ball of gas, and Metamorpho can morph himself into different elements. So, okay, I'll stop talking about the movie. We'll just listen to the soundtrack. I feel like somebody really just really was just like, girl, come on. I'm sorry. Yeah, and this is what he's like, well, I need to just give me some time. I can't make the sun. I can make something like a sun. What are you doing? What is he doing? He's doing something. They're doing something in here. And now they're trying to break out of the pocket dimension. I'm very curious if the pocket dimension is going to be like an introduction. This might have been when he broke the glass. Restored. Go save baby Joey. A very triumphant tone. David Fleming, your Superman, whatchamacallit, peak. The River Pie. Get out the air, and the baby slowly, Joey! Could you imagine if I got the craziest copyright? Like, Warner Brothers, I promise you, this is gonna make somebody want to go watch the movie again in theaters, because it makes me want to watch the movie again in theaters. I do think it's just like super fun, super wholesome, super cute. And I wonder if the pocket dimension is going to be the start of how maybe we get like an introductory to Brainiac in this type of like, because I don't see Lex Luther stopping, and if we have Kara, we're gonna have to introduce Brainy, and like it just makes sense, right? This is when Crypto licks the baby's face. It's the black hole. Metamorpho is trying his hardest to like pull them out. And if I'm correct, grabs Crypto. Oh, so we go and the thing is closing. Oh no, this might have been when he flew, no? Whatever, we just lived through the scene. Take the tea craft. Oh, because he has kryptonite poisoning. Oh wow, that's first time ever Lois gets to see how human Clark is through the love of his parents. Was this Jimmy Olsen towards the end? Your choices, your actions. Oh, is this when he's talking? Pa Kent. That like what is she? What do you say? That Louis girl's great. Lois dad. Her name's Lois. Yeah, she seems nice. But You don't seem much like yourself. They sent me here to kill people. I think that's what he says. I think what you meant for that message to seem tells I think what you meant for that message to mean tells a lot more than what it was intended for. It says a lot more than what it was intended for. Trying to hold it in. I don't think this is the Superman track, but it might be. Like when he goes and it's like, there's something on the telly. And then the kids put up the flag. It's just that. It is okay to cry. Promise, it's okay. Clark watches the news, and they're going to attack. But the people are gonna stand guard. And they're all standing out in front of the military to protect their land. And then the kids come together and they raise the Superman flag. They start saying Superman. You know what's so funny is that in theaters, Clark sees it and he wants to go help. But it's so funny because in theaters, I stopped crying at like that part. And I start crying now when he saves the girl from the falling building. And he just like aura farms in the sky. It's so beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful that it brings tears to my eyes because it's just like, how can you literally not like this message of just hope and the strength and the feeling of belief and the feeling of power of someone being there to help you no matter what? Those kids. So it's just gonna get quiet. What the fuck? What? What other soundtrack did John Murphy do? It's so funny because I was gonna say David Fleming ate you up, John, but you ate me up. rift, and this is when he opens up the portal at the whatchamacallit, or at least he's trying to, so that he'd be able to know where Superman is gonna be at. Okay, so he did Peacemaker's soundtrack, and he also did Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, okay, in the Suicide Squad. And meanwhile, they're getting their news articles and shit together as they're talking, and I love this scene too, how everyone's like freaking out about the rift, and they're just like, so this is the facts, this is what's presented, we're gonna get this story. This being Daily Planet sound is so perfect, because it sounds like time is just rushing. How many can it hold? Okay, let's go. And they're walking to the craft as Jimmy is still debriefing. That was like the fatty part of like the steak, and I can't. I'm a very textured type of eater. Is this the scene? Because the towers were falling. Okay, wait, no. It might be now. The girl's driving in the car, and the crash happens as the towers just fell. Sounds like the whole like Superman, I need you, the rift, it's about to tear into the whatchamacallit. Lex Luther, I know at one point his goon is like telling him, hey man, we can't stay here, and then they drop down from there. Cracked into the city. Now it's hitting. Is this when he aura farms? It might be. That might have been it. That might have been it. Yes, it is! Yes, it is! Yes! I don't think y'all get it. I love that scene so much. But just to make sure, right? Yeah, that was 100% the scene right there. Because yeah, this is Superman, you know, it's falling, they're falling, the girl's trying to get out of her car and all that stuff, and it's just about to fall on her, and then, or wait, no, he's like that, yeah, he's building falls on top of him. And then she's driving and she looks back and out of the ashes rise this man. I probably seem so fucking crazy, but like, I love that scene so much. Base is loaded. Now we're fighting Engineer and Ultraman. But he doesn't know he's Ultraman yet. Even though he's really Brainiac. I mean, not Brainiac, Bizarro. This one specifically, though, yeah. This is when they're fighting in the thing. And then the nanos fly over to him, or crawl over to him, and he's like, what the fuck? And then they go, and he's like, and he's trying to peel it off of his face, and they're like, he won't, it's gonna enter his lungs, and he won't be able to breathe soon. He'll have like an hour of time left to hold his breath. And Lex Luthor's like, and it's entering his yeah, wow, this is perfect. This is perfect. Now he's flying into the atmosphere. Lex Luthor's telling him to fly faster. Find Lex Luthor's speech. Now he's falling down. See if I can do it. Or maybe this is when he's flying up, and then he's falling, and they're stuck on him. Unequip yourself, unarm yourself, or something like that. I have little faith that I know exactly when it starts, even though I made a video doing the quote before. Just keep this here and see. This is when they find out that Superman is still alive inside of the hole, blah blah blah. Lex is pissed, and then they find out Ultraman is who Ultraman is. Yeah, finds out about Ultraman. I think this is when the Baravian troops are pushing in, moving in and all that stuff, because he gave him the okay. I would really like to know like how right I am about like most of these songs and the placements that they played in. Yeah, sorry kid. Soup says you can't make it, so you got an upgrade. Sand, and then the fur. I like this stuff. I don't know. And then now Ultraman is beating the shit out of Superman. And then he's like, oh, we don't need to evacuate. And he's like, no. And then Hawk Girl grabs him. And she's like, I know you're not going to drop me because of your heroic values. She says, I'm not Superman. It's not here. This is when he explains to Superman that his plan was never to actually get the war. Doesn't matter to him, because his whole purpose was to bring him here to this exact very moment. Driven by envy. Is that it? This is not his 1A moment. His 1A moment is in Luther Traitor. His 1A moment is 100% Luther's a traitor. He's fighting the Raptors. Or is this when him and Crypto are fighting like that moment. He's losing his laser eye visions and all that shit. Yep. And then, yeah, he's back on him. And this is when he has to break his arm. Pop his arm out of socket. There is no way that driven by envy is the envy speech. Lex is like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta leave. Blah, 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 blah. And they're trying to go, and then pushes through the window and grabs Lex and makes him slam his big bald head on the floor. That's where you're wrong. I'm as human as anyone. I love, I get scared, I wake up every morning, and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up all the time, but that's being human. And that's my greatest strength. And someday, God, I hope it be yours. Nice try, you pepperous blah, blah, blah. That's not what this is about, though. At the end of the day, the USC gave me orders to eradicate you, whether that be today, tomorrow, and then he finds out. Oh, no. Crypto. Yeah. Or maybe it's here. Does he say it here? Okay. I need to know the movie until I know the movie like the back of my mind. Standing there bald as everyone's calling him a liar and they're complimenting Superman, which, by the way, right, there's the obvious interpretation that Lex Luthor is crying and is upset because that's how much he hates Superman, and he's just really pissed that he got exposed and his plan has been foiled. But I really think like why he's really crying and he's upset isn't just the fact that like he hates Superman and his plan was ruined, but it's like he hates Superman and he cannot fucking believe an idiot beat him. This entire movie, and he cannot believe that he miscalculated. He let Superman outsmart him when he thought he was always smarter and superior and more superior than Superman. When he shows like Clark that he cloned him with Ultraman, he says like Ultraman is really fucking stupid. He's dumb. He might even be dumber than you if that's even possible. He continuously belittles and talks down on the values and the traits of Clark Kent as a alien, right? Because he doesn't see him as a person, and he thought he knew the Kryptonians and he knew everything about them, and he had this master strategic plan. I'm so smart. I'm so much smarter than you. I'm gonna get rid of you, and this is how. Like it may have taken 3 years, but like I put everything into this one moment. And he's so proud of this one moment, even if it meant destroying the whole fucking world because of the rift. As long as he got to take down Superman, he could still say, hey, you know, this shit may have happened, but at least this guy is no longer in the way. So when that shit happens, like, he doesn't give a fuck about what the hell the news is saying and all that, the humility of it. I think the humility is the aspect that Superman won. He was smarter than you. You're not, so you don't know everything about Superman the way that you claim to or the way that you think to, because he was able to beat you. And then not only did he beat you, but then you got exposed. So I wonder if he's going to have some type of like feud between the Daily Bugle and all that. Why does he keep saying Bugle? The Daily Planet and all that. Very interested in that aspect. But I thought that was like a really cool moment. You realize, because yes, he hates Superman, but his hate is so embedded to him. It's like so much deeper than just like I hate you. It is definitely an I hate you, but he just really genuinely sees so little in an alien who just has strength. They don't have the brains, and that's why I'm saying like Brainiac would be such an interesting course to slowly start to lean into, or to have more stories shift in. I'm not looking for the next Endgame or for the next Infinity War, like the next like Thanos arc or anything like that, but I do think that in light of because there's so many fucking DC like big baddies, or at least there's so many DC big baddie routes. I probably like at least like 3 of them that they can go, 3 main ones that I can think of. But it's also whatever the hell James Gunn. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. bald ass in the car. I guess it is the envy. Gagged me. Now everybody's getting off of the plane out of the pocket dimension. You're not changing my mind. Jimmy Olsen is gay. That's why. It's not, I mean, like, yeah, undeniable Riz or whatever without trying, but it's also because he's not interested in them girls. Gave it away when Lois said you're hot X and he said hot. I don't know why I'm trying to like melt this. Lois and Clark, they finally reunite again. Karama, is that you? Or is that Gone? That might be Gone. Playing with his banana. Oh, I would like to let you interview me so I can catch you up. They walk to the back and then... Very romantic, very romantic. They kiss. They finally kiss. They finally kiss. I love you. I love you too. And we reach the end of the movie, basically. It's not the full song though, but yeah. We get introduced to Kara as he's like, I guess, cleaning up and showcasing the cave. The robot 4 asks for a name, and he says, "You have a name. 4 is like a name." And he's like, "So is Gary." And yeah, that's when Kara comes in for Crypto. We find out that Crypto is Kara's dog, and that Kara likes to party on other planets where there is a red sun, where there isn't a red sun, where there's yellow suns. I think it's yellow suns. I don't know, but yeah, and so that's how she gets drunk and blah blah blah, and that's the ideal, I guess, of where we're going to be going with Kara. And if people don't know that Kara is technically mentally a child, though she is an adult. Like, Clark is older than her physically, but technically Kara is supposed to be older than Clark, but I think like she got like frozen or whatever in the capsule. I think she was supposed to be on her way to Earth. Yeah, and so yeah, like she's technically younger than him, and he's older, but she's more Kryptonian than him. And yeah. So I'm interested in how those aspects are gonna like shine through, and what more we're gonna learn about Krypton. I had so many versions of Krypton, but yeah, then the punk rock song, and it ties back to Clark being the one who says like maybe kindness is punk rock, and it is punk rock. Like, why do we need an edgy Superman that is a god or can fight aliens? Being nice is the coolest thing ever. and it says Superman.
I see you stagger in the streets,
And he has a little outro with it, sitting with crypto.
and you can't.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's right. I forgot that the Mighty Crab Joys is also. Sorry, Mighty Crab Joys. Lois was right. Lois was right. But wow. How amazing, how incredible, how fantastic, how super. I was asking, like, what is it that we do now that Superman has been released and Love Island is no longer showing? And I guess you can relive the soundtrack, or at least the movie, through the soundtrack if you really see it in your eyes mind. I think John Murphy and David Fleming knocked it out of the park. I definitely think the soundtrack is deserving of hopefully some Oscar nominations and some Grammy best soundtrack. I think that's what it is, like best like I don't know if Grammy has best score. I think that is only in the Oscar category, but best like original motion picture soundtrack, I do believe that is in the Grammy category, and I think that this is up there. It makes you feel everything from this world, but also this incredible sense of like hope and joy and just happiness. I think James Gunn, in terms of a director and a man who has a vision for what he wants with his projects, he never misses on the musical like aspect and element. But I would really be like, I'm really curious how, especially for something like the River Pie or P or however it's said, especially for a track like that where it is like co-signed along with how David is moving or how Superman is moving through that ocean in the fight. Like, are these things that are made before the shot or after the shot? Well, obviously after the shot, but like how, like what is the tone in the play? Because I can see it all in my mind. I feel like I'm witnessing those thrilling, adventurous moments from the Superman movie. Again, this is a 10 out of 10 film. I think there really isn't much to complain about because it's the first film. Perhaps if this was a movie that was like on its like second or its third, but because this is the start of a brand new universe, when I see things like, oh, or like when I hear things like, oh, well, you know, they didn't do this, and that inside of the Superman movie, and they should have. It's like, remember, this is just the start. There's still time and progression for his character for us to see more of everything from what Superman fans want to see, from what we're going to see, and this just being like his starting point, like his peak. The first time he's ever lost in a battle was 3 years into his career, and it's only because he didn't know that the hammer of Baravia was a fucking Kryptonian clone. If he would have known that shit, he would have been smacking that bitch around. But he had respect because he knew that what he did, you know, going into there and like stopping the war, of course it's going to piss some people off. But at the same time, you know, you can't just go and do whatever it is you want. I think kindness being the message and the tone of this film is absolutely perfect. It's just like, I don't know. I love talking about this movie. I love Mr. Terrific. It's so funny though about Mr. Terrific because technically First Class came out when I was probably like 12, maybe I want to say 12. First Class came out when I was 12 because I remember my dad like getting it on, we were like, oh, we can go to the theater. And then he was like, no, First Class X-Men. He was like, no, I can like buy it via the digital. Yeah. So I'm like 11 at this time. And X-Men, my dad, like we were excited. We were watching it at his house on video on demand because he purchased it. I can't even fully believe that was even an option at the time, but it was. And we're just like sitting there and he's like talking and he's like telling me about like each X-Men and all that stuff. And Darwin comes up and he's like, yeah, man, like this is a dope ass dude. And he's like, yo, the ability to like adapt to anything, all of that stuff. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, yeah, like Darwin. And he's like, you know, he's like the Black Mutant. So like I'm young, he's my dad, and we're just sitting there and we're just watching it. And then we watch him die, and I just remember my dad being like, of course they killed the Black Mutant. And so every time I think of him, every time and X-Men First Class for the longest was in fact my favorite movie. So every time I think about First Class, I always remember that moment. Every time I see Darwin, I always remember that moment. And to see him as Mr. Terrific and have this like fully fleshed out and developed character, because it felt like he as an actor was really excited to be a part of like a comic book film. I love when actors like genuinely love the material that they're participating in. I love when actors, artists, just any creative. So yeah, like it really did make me, made me very happy. I'm very happy. I'm very excited again for the long run. Mr. Terrific, I could co-sign for there being a show for that. I would love to see more of him. I think he is such a fascinating character that we don't get to see enough of, with great portrayals or adaptations, because people just seem to think that if you're too good at anything, you're not completely fun, or you're just like the boring character, or you don't have any story. But I don't think that's the case. Very interested in how the Justice League are going to be formed, if they're going to be formed through the Justice Gang, or if Guy Gardner is going to point at Superman and say, you stole that from me. I've talked about this. I think if you wanted like more longer thoughts, my friends and I, we all talk about this in the movie, especially my thoughts and my feelings for the Batman, and that if possible being a part of that universe, I would love it. I really am excited just for the DC universe as a person whose name Society made the Joker. Like, this is my hometown, this is my gang, this is my love, and everything about this movie is just, I don't know. I feel like you guys saw my emotion enough through that. So thanks for chilling out and hanging out with me. 'Cause I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am.